GameStop saw off-exchange volume on November 19th of 25.37%. Now, prior to this, GameStop's off-exchange volume is normally 50 to 60% day in and day out. This is likely because these institutions finally are getting some skin in the game, anticipating some sort of move on GameStop, not only in the options chain looking extremely bullish, but institutional ownership for the stock itself. You can see institutions have been absolutely loading the boat on GameStop more than ever. More than prior to January of 2021 when we had that melt up to $500 a share. They are loading up more shares than they did even back then. Then you are seeing lower off-exchange volume. Well, how does this correlate? They want more lit exchange volume because they loaded their bags. So now that retail is buying, they want to route them to lit exchange, have the price go higher so they can collect some money. Now, GameStop's chart can't look any better. It's up 2.65% on the day, retesting its recent high up here, right around $28.65. $29 was our resistance level. But ultimately, we are seeing heavy resistance at $28.60, which in my opinion, we are going to break above. Now, I think we're going to break above this, not only because of the squeeze or melt up that I think we're going to have, but we tested it once and we consolidated, tested it again, and then consolidated, and now we're testing it a third time. Ultimately, if GameStop sold off here, you could say this is an ugly tight head and shoulders pattern and all that other stuff. I ultimately don't see a negative case scenario, a bearish case scenario right here. I think we are going to push past $29. Then we are going to watch $31.50 very closely to see if the algorithms want to shut it down at $31.50. And that's only based off of the previous cycle that GameStop had. If they don't shut it down there, then who knows how high this thing can go, ultimately bringing us to those extremely high price targets above $300. Now, GameStop said the collaboration with PSA has resulted in around $1.53 million in dollar value of transactions since the beginning of the agreement, which is pretty good because this was October and it's going to get reported for the next quarter, I believe. And 1.53 million since the beginning of this agreement, which was not long ago, is actually not that bad. So even fundamental value for GameStop, them holding almost $5 billion in cash, them making these agreements, and ultimately doing pretty good with zero debt. There's just no reason not to hold this stock, in my personal opinion. Again, nothing I say is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. If we look at the options chain, at least what's reported on Stock Tracker, we see that there is 42,000 calls almost expiring in the money compared to basically zero puts. And then all of this premium as of right now going to market makers, but it is only Wednesday. And if we have a melt up for the rest of the week, which Nvidia, SPY, we're going to talk about at the end of the video, these are going to likely go in the money for GameStop. Now, coincidentally, we also saw short exempts die down from 34,000 to 20,000. Now, this is only a 2-day period, so don't get your hopes up just yet. But it seems as if short sellers are almost planning to allow this thing to go higher, but who knows, right? 2 days ago, this thing was already at the bottom of this consolidation zone, so they probably didn't need to stack much on it, right? As long as it wasn't testing this breakout. If anything, I would see tomorrow or the next day a lot more short exempts stacked up just because we're testing the top of this breakout once again. Now, AMC is poised to ride the box office rebound per CNBC. AMC ultimately got a death cross, which is not a good thing to see. We haven't seen one of these in a while. However, the charts said whatever, right? We got a bounce off of the bottom, at least. Hopefully not a temporary bounce, but we're back above $4.35, up about 1.6% on the day. The pattern that AMC is playing out is very similar to the pattern that it plays out right before it catapults higher. This is literally the only one I had overlaid over it, which wasn't meant for the video, was the bars pattern back here, where it just did this little pattern and then it broke out higher, not giving anybody a warning signal. That's sort of the same thing it's doing. Not only is it trading in this parallel channel, but it is doing this little McDonald's pattern here before just breaking out higher, hopefully, right? Depending on what we see going forward. Obviously, AMC is extremely held down. They are saying over on Ortex that the short interest is dropping again, down to around 13.85%. I have said it time and time again in the exit strategy videos, this is going to be manipulated. The data we see, be very careful when watching that data. Now, a good thing to see is that XRP has catapulted recently. AMC has not followed it yet. I think AMC has a spring that it is waiting to unload, and there is going to be a catalyst that is going to unload that spring ultimately. And that is what I see happening going forward. What will the catalyst be? I'm not too positive on that yet, but AMC has a rain check to run. Now, Vanik officially endorses President-elect Trump's plan to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which we've talked about several times. The Federal Reserve creating a Bitcoin stockpile. Bitcoin is now up 1.5% on the day, came all the way up to 94,700, almost 95K. And in my opinion, this is the beginning of momentum. You're seeing a lot of volume here, and I think Bitcoin is going to flash higher very quickly. It's going to break past 96, it's going to break past 98, and there's going to be heavy resistance between 100 and 103.5, but 103.5 is ultimately my next price target on Bitcoin, and that is going to be a tough one to break, and the only reason is because it is a major psychological level. Once we find a base above 100,000 and then above 122, right, so on and so forth, then people will get comfortable saying that Bitcoin is above 100,000. Will people want to buy it out there? That is a little bit iffy. But the concept that Bitcoin can go to 350,000, Bitcoin can go to 1 million is going to be, the line's going to be drawn, right? Once we're trading in the 100,000s, ultimately crypto is looking very well. Now we are seeing memes start to fall a little bit as Bitcoin is climbing. What is the reason for that? Bonk is down about 2% on the day. The reason for that is because memes have been rallying while alts really haven't been. They did get a little bit of a push, but meme coins have been rallying while alts really haven't been. So when Bitcoin climbs, alts are supposed to follow, and ultimately meme coins got their rip early on, and following Bitcoin, you're going to see alts like XRP, ADA, some other ones that are alternative to Bitcoin start to get those little rallies. But ultimately, I do still see memes getting another push higher, and I do still see Bonk coming up to my price target at 4082, right? Which is about a 60% gain from where we're trading at right now if you were to enter. Now, we did come down based off of the resistance, get a nice candle to retest this spot once, twice, third. We got a little bit of price discovery here. Got rejected every single time. And I think Bonk just has to consolidate longer right here. If I brought you on a shorter time frame, you'd see what I mean. If you take a look, Bonk came up to resistance, consolidated, came up again to resistance, consolidated slash retraced a little bit. Once again, up to resistance, consolidated, retraced a little bit. Once again, came down. And now you're having actual trouble breaking out of that next point. Now this is a crucial level for Bonk, because if we can't break out of this, this could be the end of the run, which I don't see happening. But what I do see happening is just a little bit longer of consolidation. So ultimately it would have looked like something like this, coming to a low and then getting that actual breakout that Bonk actually hasn't seen. Okay, so this, from this peak, you're just seeing longer consolidation, in my opinion, for Bonk, and I just want to put that on your radar. Maybe coming back down to test this support once again. I want to talk about the overall market and Nvidia real quick to close out the video, but I just want to say, guys, if you're not in the Discord yet, get in. It's the top link in the description. I'm in there on the daily. We talk stocks and crypto all day long. Best vibes, most amazing people. Whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, this is the place to go. And if you're not in any Discords, I urge you to make this your first one. I also post my trades as soon as I enter them. You get access to market news as soon as it comes out, dark pool trade orders, insider trades, option sweeps, and more. So just get in the Discord. It's the top link. I'll leave it there for you guys. Now, corporate insiders have been selling stocks at the fastest pace since 2008, which obviously we saw that 08 crash. Are they giving a warning signal? Maybe, maybe not. Is it time for the market to crash yet? We're going to see essentially tonight if it's time. If Nvidia kills earnings and we skyrocket higher, there's likely one last push for this melt up on the market up to 604.50 to 623 would be my last price target before ultimately collapsing. But as of right now, that is what we're watching, and it's going to be an insane night to say the least. Nvidia trading at 146 flat, basically down 1% on the day. I'm out of most contracts with about a 30-ish% gain, but I am holding the rest as just profits. So at this point, I'm not risking anything over on Nvidia. And if you follow those trades in the Discord, you could potentially do the same exact thing. Nvidia reports earnings after close. Their expected numbers are revenue 33.02 billion, which is up 82% year over year. Earnings per share up 74 cents, which is up 85% year over year, and gross margin 74.8%. Those are the numbers that they have to beat, but they also have to be on guidance. Spirit Airlines is the end of an era after SAVE ticker gets delisted after filing for bankruptcy. That, I figured I'd throw it in the video just to show you it is an end of an era and stocks can get delisted. I know most of the time they come out and they save themselves just like SMCI, but just be aware of that. Overall, guys, if you're not subscribed to the second channel, we're 10 subscribers away from dropping the first video, so get over there. The link is under the video. And if you want up to 15 free stocks, a $30 cash reward, and earn 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash, use the Moomoo link in the description, open an account, and make a deposit into there to start earning these free stocks. You're also getting level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more as a retail trader. Again, open an account through my link. It's a free broker. Once they approve you, it'll probably take 2 minutes. You make a deposit into there, and then that will be in the process of sending you free stocks. Plus, they have a ton of cool tools for you that other platforms don't have. And if you want my custom indicator right now, go get it. It's pattern detection and forecasting. It detects patterns, gives you price targets, and forecasts what the stock might do. And you can go get access for 2 weeks for free to it in the description. That is it. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.